Number 10. Honorius. Honorius would be very incompetent as emperor, being one of the major reasons why Western Rome fell. He lost the empire's large amount of territories, notably losing control of all of Britannia, and allowed barbarians to live within Western Rome. He executed his most competent general, Stilicho, which would lead to the empire being defenseless, culminating into the sacking of Rome. He would be one of the longest ruling Western Roman emperors, ruling for 28 years, though he was mainly controlled by regents since he was young when he initially became emperor. He will appoint Constantine III as co-emperor to avoid a drawn-out civil war. Overall, he completely destroyed the West, and the good things he did was just to prolong his reign, which would cause more chaos to the West. Number 9. Valentinian III. There is not much to say about Valentinian III other than he's essentially a clone of Honorius. I'm not kidding by how similar they were. Both will lose a lot of territories. Both were also ruled by many other people. And they both executed their top general. He notably would have some policies in regards to the Christian church. The only thing that saved him from being in last place is that he inherited a post-Honorius Rome, meaning he was ruling a dump, which he himself would make it more of a dump by the end of his reign. He would be the final biological emperor of the Theodosian dynasty in the West, as emperors passing him would be non-dynastic. Number 8. Constantine III. Constantine III would rebel and cross into Gaul, defeating some barbarian tribes. His military success would lead to Honorius making him as co-emperor, but doomed Britannia. His reign was short as he would send his son into Hispania to secure it, but civil war would break out. He eventually would lose the support of his army, and in an invasion from Honorius, he would be besieged in Arles, eventually being executed. Number 7. Priscus Attalus. Priscus Attalus would rebel in Italy, being heavily controlled by the Visigoths. He attempted to assert his power by giving the Senate its powers, but he ultimately failed, being deposed shortly before the sack of Rome. Not much to say about this guy, just like the next one coming up. Number 6. Joannes. Joannes would usurp the throne after the death of Honorius. He gained full recognition across the West but full rejection from the East. Failing to gain legitimacy, his lack of support and weak military policies would lead to his capture and execution. Like I said, not much to say about this guy. If you want to continue seeing more from me, like and subscribe and comment down below. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, make sure to turn on the notifications so that you know when a video is out. It's just a few clicks away, so I would appreciate it if you did so. Now on to the video. Number 5. Arcadius. Arcadius would rule from the east and would continue building infrastructure in Constantinople, truly turning it into the Eastern Rome. He began the shift from Latin to Greek for administrative purpose, beginning the shift of the East becoming a Greek state, while also enforcing Christianity even to the point of persecution. His largest failure was how he governed, as he relied on others to govern for him, while also mismanaging the barbarian invasions, relying on Western generals and bribes for barbarians, shifting the conflict to the West, which they had to deal with. Number 4. Constantius III. Also not related to the Constantines. Constantius III would become Honorius' co-emperor. He would defeat usurpers and reclaim Hispania. His efforts would allow Rome to recover from the sacking of Rome, restoring order to the west. Though he could not reconquer Britannia, which was a lost cause, and his relationship with the East had begun deteriorating. Despite his achievements, he would unfortunately die of illness, ending his short reign. Number 3. Marcian. Marcian would create surplus in the treasury by saving money, cutting taxes, and refusing to pay tribute to the Huns. He launched counterattacks against the Huns and repaired public works in Constantinople. However, due to his religious ruling, many in the East were angered and revolted, leading to long-term instability. He also refused to help the West when it needed help, especially against Attila the Hun and another sacking of Rome, accelerating the collapse of the West. Number 2. Theodosius II, the calligrapher. Theodosius II would publish the Theodosian Code, a compilation of Roman laws wrapped into a single document, which is why he is called the calligrapher for his writing. He did infrastructure in Constantinople by building the Theodosian walls and founding the University of Constantinople. He would rule for over 4 decades, establishing eternal peace, shifting the East away from the Roman Empire and into the Byzantine Empire. His falls came with his personality, as he would be quite a passive ruler, often being controlled by those around him. His Hunnic policies would make the East essentially pay tribute to the Huns, nearly bankrupting the treasury. He also made some religious blunders, inflaming theological disputes alongside with his support of controversial churches. He would be the final biological emperor of the Theodosian dynasty in the East. Overall, he was a decent emperor, but far too passive. And lastly, but not least, at number 1, Theodosius I the Great. Theodosius I would issue the Edict of Thessalonica, making Nicene Christianity the official state religion. He brought peace to the East, defeating multiple usurpers, uniting the Roman Empire as a whole for the last time. His reign would see a short renaissance in classical art and literature. He continued the enforcement of Christianity even if it led to persecution. He continued allying with barbarians, allowing them to live in the empire's borders, ultimately weakening the empire. And lastly, his succession plan would make the fall of the West even more quicker, with his weak sons Honorius and Arcadians ruling both the West and the East. Overall, he is the best emperor of the Theodosian dynasty, as he would be the final Roman emperor to rule the entire empire, as well as attempting to unify Christianity. In a time of major theological disputes, churches against other churches, and overall division within the faith, and of course, starting the Theodosian dynasty. And that's the Theodosian dynasty ranked from worst to best. Here's the list. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing more from me, and comment down below on what you think about this list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.